guys, so I dyed my hair again, even though I didn't have anybody to strip it, which is what I hear you need to do. I'm a little afraid to strip it anyway because it has thinned out so much. Oh, sorry. It has thinned out so much, but yeah, so I dyed it silver again. I don't know. I can still see the yellow in it. It just drives me nuts, but it's better. That's all that matters. It just needs to be styled. It is not styled. I wish it was all this like bluey, silvery, white kind of color. See, you can see this strip right here. My hair color. Sucks. Anyway, I did that over the weekend. What else did I do? Oh my God. I had such a crazy OBA. Hold on. You've got to hear about it. I have a I have a vitamin chew in my mouth. Yeah, I probably should not get on here till it's gone. Hold on. So I'm still swallowing this thing. Hold on. Alright, so I was doing different meditations on Sunday yesterday that had to do with like one was chakra, and I find that spitting stuff. I find that when I do like a chakra cleanse, right, or any kind of chakra thing, that if I use the one that nobody knows about, so there you have all these chakra points on your body, right? The base one is the one at the bottom of your tailbone, which I need to work on that right now because for some reason my tailbone has been killing me lately. But I have really bad arthritis, so who knows? But anyway, so I'm so that, and then so I was doing chakra cleansing. So you go up through, there's a heart chakra, there's a like one that's in like your belly button type thing, a throat chakra, a third eye chakra, which we all know what that is, and then you have your crown chakra. Well, there's a chakra above your crown chakra, and that's the chakra that's basically working on the part of you that I believe is really you. That's your chakra out into the expanse, okay? And it's so funny because I listened to, what's his name? Oh, shit. Here we go. Old age rears its ugly head. Russell Brand. I listen to Russell Brand a lot because he talks about consciousness and he doesn't really talk about the other side the way I do, but definitely there's something else. And he was asking the question lately, could our greater consciousness be basically God, or the realm that we like struggle in? Do you know what I mean? Like that we reach for, that thing that we all feel together. Could it be a collective consciousness that we call God? It would be a being unto itself, bigger than ourselves and all this. But so I have been listening to him talk about that in a couple of things that he's done recently, which makes some sense to me, but I think it falls short of what I believe. I believe what I see and walk through more, okay, because I'm actually experiencing it. So of course I would believe it more, right? Because I'm in the experience. So, and I don't know what his experiences are. I'm not him. So anyway, that last chakra, I don't even know what to call it, because you go crown, and then most anything you read about or talk about, that's it, except for sometimes they talk about this last chakra that is above your crown chakra. And when I use that, and the way you cleanse your chakra is you make it swirl, you imagine it, this light swirl swirling, like this certain color swirling. And you cleanse, you open up. It's like when you say it's congested, it means that like there's things in the way of it more than like if you have a nose, it's not mucus, you know. So anyway, I was doing a meditation that included that chakra, and I, boom, was out of body. And I was out of body so fast that I didn't get to like register. Like sometimes it doesn't register that I'm out of body. You've heard me talk about that when I walk in my kitchen and go like, okay, let me make a cup of coffee because it's time, you know, for me to go to work, and I'm like seriously out of body, and it's like in the middle of the night, and I kind of start getting clues. Things aren't exactly right. Things are ethereal, and I'm like, oh shit, am I out of body? Well, it's like that, only it wasn't like that, because usually with that, it happens, I'm somewhere familiar. But this time when it happened, I wasn't. And so I come to myself basically after, you know, using that meditation thing. I come back to myself and I feel like I'm being like hung. And so I open my eyes and I look down and I'm on like a scaffold, a big scaffold, but it wasn't a scaffold. It like had balls at the end. It's just like bars, flattened bars. That's the best I can describe it. Anyway, so I'm on this thing, and below is like buildings and stuff, so I have to get down, and it's not easy. It's not a ladder. It's like precarious, and although there's an order to it, I can't quite figure it out. Like, put your hand here, put your foot here, put your hand there, put your foot there. And had I realized that I was out of body, I would have just flown, which I've done many times out of body. But I didn't realize it. Like, I didn't get that. I was like thinking that I was actually dreaming. Or, yeah, like my consciousness was like, was like talking to me the whole time. And it was like, oh, you're just dreaming. You're just dreaming this. So just go along with it. You can't get hurt. But the fact that my consciousness was telling me this meant I wasn't dreaming. So I was like, wait a minute. How am I dreaming if you're telling me I'm dreaming? Or something is saying, you're dreaming. You're all right. Let go. It doesn't matter. You're dreaming. Like, you're gonna be okay. Don't be scared. Because I was scared because it was high up. So I'm like, wait a minute, what? So I'm at this paradox in my mind. So I say to myself, am I dreaming or am I out of body? And whoever I'm talking with, and it felt like it was myself, like I was having this conversation, said, you're dreaming. It's just a dream. Stop overthinking it. You're just dreaming. So I'm like, okay. And then, like, I went to move further. Like, I was moving. And I went to move further, and I was like, wait a minute. This isn't dreaming. If I can think about what I'm doing, like, if I can outer body, wait, am I out of body? And then I was like, I'm the fuck out of body. Like, what are we talking about? And maybe I was somewhere in between at some point, but it was this very vague, very anxiety-filled moment where I just wasn't sure. So I said to myself, because now I think I'm out of body, I'm like, well, the only way to tell is to let go and see if I can fly. So I stand up, because I was like kind of sitting my ass on one of the bars, and I have my two hands like on a bar that's angled this way. Like, they were angled funny, so there was like a puzzle there. And then I was thinking later on Sunday, I was thinking, like, was that a Jacob's ladder? Like, could that have been that? Because it was very... Anyway, so I was like, okay, let me let go and see what happens. So I stand up on the bar that I'm sitting on, and I'm holding on to the bar that's this way, and I just push off, and I turn around like this, and I say fly. So I start to fly. So as I'm flying, I'm like, okay, so I'm out of body. So where am I going? Like, there's almost like an annoyance to when you're like going somewhere and like you didn't say, or your instructions weren't clear, and so you're in this place that you're not sure of. Well, right now I'm like flying down to the tops of buildings. So I say to myself, just get on the top of that building there. So I float down to it, and I realize there's no shadow. So I'm like, why is there no shadow of me? There's light. Where is the source? Where's the source of light? And I turn around to look for the source of light, and I can't find the sun. It's not like a ball in the sky with the horizon. It's just everywhere. Light is everywhere. So I start thinking, and I'm saying in my mind, is this the source? But then I'm like, wait a minute, am I talking about the sun, or am I talking about our source? And that was when all the stuff I had been thinking about all week from Russell Brand, all that started going through my head. I'm like, what is the source? What is it? Is it our consciousness? Is it me that creates the sun? Can I just sit here and say, create a sun? So I tried doing that. By then I was on the top of the building. So I turned around and said, create the sun. And it wouldn't work. So I'm like, okay, I know I'm out of body. Nobody else is around. I made sure. And I look over. There are cars going by. It looks like now. It's daylight. I was on some sort of scaffold, which now I can't see. It was very high up, and now I can't see. I'm sitting on top of this building, asking for the source. Like, where is the source? What is the source? And the source of all power is what I'm asking about. The source of, like, God. Where is it? Show it to me. Enlighten me. Open up my eyes. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking up in the sky, because part of me is also thinking sun. Do you know what I mean? The sun. Because that's where it started, that I had no shadow. But I think that's where it always was. I say that's where it started, but I think it was always right there, because I was thinking all week about the stuff Russell Brand had said. So, which I'll post down below too, because he just had this out. So then I'm like, well, if we're just like consciousness, and if that would kind of mean your actions don't have any ramification. Sorry. So anyway, long story short, so I started thinking, like, what can I do to find that one thing, that one source? I would love to be able to say that the end game of me going out of body ended up me being in touch with God, or like something, or like figuring something out. I mean, I figured out a few things that I know to be true, even if other people are going to say, oh, no, I know this to be true. There is not a death. Your body goes through a death. You do not. And the people that have gone before you, you can contact, you can be with, you can find, you can see, and you might end up going back again. You might end up on this realm or some other realm. Like, I don't think past life regression is wrong. I just think that we think of it as human beings on Earth as very limited, because I believe there's a whole lot more beings on a whole lot more places that are very similar to this, or very different than this, and that it depends on what you're born into. Like, if you're reborn as a friggin' octopus down at the bottom of the ocean, then you have no knowledge. Like, do you see what I mean? Like, I just believe that I don't know what I believe in that way. But I'm just saying, like, there are so many more worlds, so many more places. The exploring has just begun. We haven't even gotten through to our own planet 100%. There's so many more things. But there is this one constant that you hear from everyone on the whole planet, the entire planet of human beings. And that is that they believe that there is a higher power. Whether they believe it to be, you know, something very base, like the nature around them and the things that they can see there, or whether they believe that it's celestial, mundane, of the earth. I have no idea. But they all think the same thing, and they're all kind of looking for the same thing, and that is for this other power. And we've come up with stories and rituals and all these things. So I sat on the top of the building asking to understand that power. That's what I want. After all these years, that's what I want. I want to understand it. I want a better understanding of what that is. Is it us? Is it actually, is the Bible completely right? Is Christ really God's son? Are we all God's son? Are we and daughters? Are we, like, what is it? Show me the beauty. Or is it us? Is it that our consciousness together, melted together, whether it be in the behind the veil or on this side of the veil, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that group of beings, because I don't even believe that we've gotten to the point where we know what we are. Like, everybody thinks we're these body humans, and then, you know, you can trick your brain into thinking a certain way, and I'm like, well, who's doing the trick? If you're tricking your brain to do things, then there's you, right? I mean, am I wrong? So when I hear about all this, I'm like, no, there's something more to us. Us, and I don't know if it's everything. Is there something more to every tree? Is there something more to every blade of grass? I really don't know. I don't know. Nobody has the answers that I know of, but I found it really good to start asking the right questions when I'm on the other side. Start looking for the right questions. So, did I find the source? No. But it also, for whatever reason, while I was over there, wouldn't let me see a fake source. Because I was like, oh, the source of the light. I want the source of the light. And it wouldn't show me the sun. Because then I might have taken that somewhere else. And whatever it is over there knew my mind enough to know that that would be me kind of tricking myself. So it stopped it. It wouldn't let it go any farther. When I came to later on, I just remember sitting on top of that building, meditating, thinking about these questions, formulating them to ask that I go on a path of enlightenment, that I find some of these answers along the way. That really, that's all I ever really wanted in the first place, is to find the source. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start reading about it. I'm going to start dedicating myself a little bit to this, and I'll bring you along the way and tell you what I learned. All right, I got to go. Bye, guys. Russell Brand. He's so smart, man. He's not just the funny guy in movies. He's so fucking smart. I'm going to turn you on to him. Bye.